are my dogs, Meatball and Butterscotch, and we are Charleston Animal Society.
I'm Ralph.
I'm Althea.
We're cat adopters.
And we are Charleston Animal Society.
I'm Nate Ross, and this is Poppy. I'm a donor, I'm a foster, and we are Charleston Animal Society.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 147th annual meeting of the Charleston Animal Society. My name is Dillard Stevens and I'm this year's committee chair. First, I'd like to say happy birthday to us. It was on this day 147 years ago that the Charleston Animal Society began. We were the first animal protection program in South Carolina and one of the first in the nation. Then, like now, our main purpose is the prevention of animal cruelty. But fast forward to 2020, and we are touching the lives of almost 15,000 animals each year, thanks to you. Know that if you have questions as we go through our program, please feel free to post them so that we can have them all answered towards the end by my fellow board member, Carolyn Murray, and President and CEO, Joe Elmore. As we like to say, you are Charleston Animal Society, and we hope that you'll remember that as we look back at 2020, a year like no other. Here's Laurel Greer, our board president.
Thank you, Dillard. How do we begin a look back at a year like no other? It is with sincere hearts and deepest sympathies that we send our thoughts and prayers to so many who have lost their lives, lost a loved one, and faced difficult financial hardships because of the pandemic. But somehow, together, we united our spirits, our desire to fight against COVID-19 with everything we have that has brought us here today. And as each day passes, we hear of another friend or relative getting vaccinated, and we can see a light at the end of the tunnel, but we aren't there yet. As chair of the board of directors of Charleston Animal Society, I needed to be here today to personally say thank you for the support during the pandemic. The membership of Charleston Animal Society is made up of adopters, volunteers, and donors, each of us doing what we can to save animals' lives even during a pandemic. That is true love. Your belief in us allowed us to face the challenge of 2020, and not only once, but time and again, pivot, adjust, react, whatever it took to be there for the animals. And you were there with us every time. You were there for dogs like Lego. He came to us quietly during the pandemic, starved, emaciated. We rescued him, and our expert medical team brought him back from the brink of death. Today, he is living in a wonderful new home. Joe Elmore will share some of the life-saving work that your support made possible. And even though we knew our fundraising efforts to save lives was critically curtailed, you hung in there with us as we changed, rescheduled, and postponed, but didn't cancel. Because you understood that we wouldn't give up raising the support we needed to care for our over 15,000 animals. An example, when it came to our Applause for Paws Gala, we had it scheduled for last spring, and we had to postpone to the fall. We rescheduled for this spring, and we had to postpone again. And now, we are going to make it happen October 16th, and we want each of you to come dance the night away and celebrate the ending of this pandemic. Each time we had to make a change, you understood. When it came to our chili cook-off, our largest fundraiser, we made a major pivot and made it into a live virtual event. And guess what? Your support was never greater. We were successful for the animals because of you. We do all this because we need to raise critical funds, and we will not and cannot retreat during these difficult times. Rather, we need to continue to join together and charge ahead with our groundbreaking projects, No Kill Charleston and No Kill South Carolina. And boy, do we have an exciting announcement coming up in just a bit. It will impact every animal in South Carolina. Please stay tuned for that. I want to wrap up focused on the light that we all see at the end of the tunnel. We're making strides every day to get our lives back to normal. But for the animals we love, the thousands of dogs, cats, and everything from hamsters to horses that we save each year, they continue to need us now in 2021. There's beautiful Allison, a 10-year-old cat who we rescued from another South Carolina shelter that was struggling. Allison needed emergency surgery to remove her eye. It saved her life. Now she absolutely loves for someone to pet her. Nothing makes her purr like a belly rub. Our own Kay Hyman says Allison is one of her favorite cats ever, and Kay has seen a lot of cats. As of today, Allison is in the shelter, waiting to find the perfect home. Because of you, we know she will. This year, funding for our life-saving efforts is more critical than ever. Each one of us plays a role in saving lives, whether we are an adopter, a volunteer, a donor, or each of these. For the animals, wherever they are, Charleston Animal Society must continue to be successful. And with you by our side, nothing, not even a pandemic, can stop us.
Pearl Sutton received a call from the Sheriff's Department that there was a dog that was involved in an accident, a fatality, and that the dog was alive and they were bringing it to us at the Charleston Animal Society. Eventually we found out that this dog was a very loved dog, that the owner who had passed away at the scene, she was his constant companion day and night for over 7 years, and they had traveled and been the best of friends. The veterinary team that worked on her was very concerned. They didn't think that she was going to make it. She had a broken jaw, she had horrible lacerations all over her body, and her eyes were fixed and dilated, and she had a brain injury.
Her will to probably see him again brought her through. I think that they had such a strong bond.
This particular trip with Christopher and Ava was going to be their last. They had done many trips before, and Ava was getting up in age, and Chris felt like this would probably be the last time that they could go out on one of these long adventures. And they were traveling from Saranac Lake, New York, to down in the Keys of Florida. And it was a big adventure, and they were almost halfway there when tragedy struck and Chris was killed. From the moment that I spoke to Ava's grandmother, which was about 1 a.m. the night that her dad, Chris, had died, the moment I spoke to her, she expressed that she was coming to get her baby. That was her grandbaby, and she was coming to get her.
Ava!
Ava girl!
Ava! Ava! It's Granny! Yeah, baby! Baby!
The reunion was phenomenal.
I told you Granny come get you!
So it was a celebration of sorts in terms of our entire community, the emergency responders, those that were on the scene, the emergency medical staff that assisted us and our veterinarians with Ava's severe injuries, and our staff who have cared and helped Ava recover.
My son was a wonderful man. He turned into a great man. We're finding out even more about him since his travels. She's my grand dog, and I just love her to bits. How could you not? Look at that face.
He also is very loyal to all his friends and family especially. Normally is what people see. They see the man and then see a dog on a trailer. And the dog's on this trailer with the yoga mat and sunshade over top of it. And normally people stop to talk about the dog on the trailer, you know. I've seen other people from Washington where he met people from there, Washington, D.C., and they had pictures where they just hung out to eat with him. They went to the beach and to eat lunch for the day, and they ended up spending all day playing music in the park.
The thing about this is that Ava is such a wonderful creature. Her temperament it couldn't be any better than what it is. And that must be a reflection of Christopher and the kind of person he was.
It was a strong bond. We have a beautiful picture of her looking at him and him looking at her and smiling, and you could just see the pure love going right back and forth. It just melts your heart to look at that.
The outpouring of support to help Ava's family and even an individual in the community to donate his time and his assets to fly the family back up to New York. It's just reflective of our entire community and what our Charleston Animal Society is all about. Charleston Animal Society is not a building in North Charleston. It is a group of people. It's an energy within our community.
Ava's mom is so happy to have a little part of Chris and a little part of his life living back with her in New York.
Hello everyone, I'm Charleston Animal Society board member Jane Graham.
And I'm Kay Hyman, the Director of Community Engagement at Charleston Animal Society. As you just saw in Ava's amazing story, there were many heroes, from the first responders to the veterinarians to our loving and caring staff who watched over as she recovered.
And then there's Lee Richards, the pilot in the story who volunteered his time and his resources to make sure that Ava made it home to New York with Chris's mother and sister. He truly is a hometown hero.
For me, this award brings this story full circle. I got to fly with Ava's family back home thanks to Lee. And now we can present our first ever hometown hero to him for doing such an extraordinary job.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Kay. I really appreciate this. I've had dogs for 20 years. So I read in the paper that Ava had gone through all these surgeries, and I felt terrible that she would be on a 17 or 18-hour trip back to New York in a car. And I felt like if I could fly her up there in my plane for under 2 hours, that's what needed to happen. And it was great to play a small role in helping Ava get back home to her family. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, Lee, on being our first ever hometown hero. We really appreciate you and everything you did for Ava. You are a lifesaver. So now let's turn to our CEO and President, Joe Elmore.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our first virtual annual meeting, but our 147th annual meeting. For those of you who have not participated in Charleston Animal Society's annual meetings, you'll find out today that these are more of a celebration of success rather than a stereotypical annual meeting. I'm Joe Elmore, President and CEO of Charleston Animal Society, and I'm both proud and honored to be here with you today to share our state of the organization. A year ago, on March 6, 2020, South Carolina identified its first 2 COVID-19 cases. In the days that followed, Governor McMaster declared a state of emergency that we are still in today. Unprecedented. Everyone knows all too well what has happened to our nation and, more importantly, to our families and loved ones. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of you who have suffered loss and hardship. Despite the challenges confronting Charleston Animal Society, the organization transformed its mantra, that is, focus, strategy, and determination, into decisive action, and continued to be a leader in providing life-saving care for animals, not only in the greater Charleston area, but in the Low Country, the state, and the region. Through our No Kill Charleston project, we saved all of the healthy and treatable animals for the 8th year in a row, compassionately making end-of-life decisions when they were the most humane path for the animal, as we have done since we built the first no-kill community in the Southeast in 2013. And through our No Kill South Carolina project, we completed 6 years of supporting our partners across the state in reducing intake, saving over 500,000 animals, and realizing over 30,000 fewer lives lost in this groundbreaking initiative. On top of that, we responded time and again to our animal shelter friends and neighbors in their time of crisis, whether in South Carolina, the Caribbean, or the Gulf states, which experienced an unprecedented historic hurricane season, the worst ever. In the face of reduced staffing, moratoriums on volunteer support, and reductions in intake and spay-neuter, we still operated 24/7 to care for over 15,000 lives. Thanks in large part to dedicated staff, a phenomenal army of volunteer fosters, and volunteer disaster teams, and of course, your heartfelt and generous support. Let me bring some of it home and up close. We entered 2020 by receiving an urgent call from Lawrence County Animal Control up in the upstate, which had been overwhelmed with a puppy mill case involving 250 abused dogs. Animal organizations from near and far responded to take an animal here or to take an animal there, but there were too many dogs seriously ill that were not taken. We deployed our teams and rescued 50 of those dogs, bringing them back to Charleston Animal Society for life-saving advanced medical care, something the other organizations were not able to do. In February, we brought the second in a three-part series of National Animal Cruelty Investigator training here to Charleston so that all of us, law enforcement and Animal Society staff alike, can more effectively investigate animal cruelty crimes. March not only brought the pandemic, but a cruelty case involving a group of horses and dogs. And thank God for our premier equine volunteer foster, Joanna Lacey, who gives 100% of her skills and her heart in bringing horses to peace, appreciation, and loving families. April saw spirit and fortitude of a dog named Harvey, severely burned and near death. Our life-saving team, and yet again a foster family, brought Harvey from the brink of death to a miraculous recovery. Harvey, a dog that our entire community fell in love with. As the threat of COVID struck hard in May, our Pets for Life team deployed to the most vulnerable communities in Charleston County so that we could provide assistance to many of those families, most of whom were elderly. And we provided assistance through pet food for a month so that the elderly would stand a lower chance of contracting the coronavirus by staying at home instead of going out to get food for their furry loved ones. And with parents struggling to care for their children while they were out of school, and while many of the parents were working from home, our education team restructured our entire summer camp program and made summer camp virtual. This was both a gift for the children as well as the parents. And our work continued through midsummer when we brought animal leaders across the state here to Charleston so that we could plan how we were going to evacuate and rescue animals during hurricane season while we were in the jaws of the deadly coronavirus. And as summer began its transition into the fall, our hearts were hurt by the tragic death of Chris Cotton, a young man bicycling down the East Coast, who was killed by a local motorist out here on Highway 17. Chris was traveling with his longtime companion and travel buddy, Ava, an adorable dog. Ava was also hurt badly during the incident. Our team was there for Ava and brought her back and healed her wounds. And our sadness was softened a bit when we were able to reunite Ava with Chris's mother and sister in New York. You know, in fact, even going into 2020, you can see how the Animal Society, in comparison to other animal organizations, fundraising in our community maximizes your financial support by spending far more of your dollars on critical services. 2020 took its toll on us, but it did not bring us to our knees. You see, when we say you are Charleston Animal Society, we mean it. All of us together save lives, not just the staff, not just the volunteers, not just the adopters or the donors, all of us. It's that all for one and one for all spirit that has transformed our community and is transforming our state. 2 years ago, at our annual meeting, after sustaining No Kill Charleston for 6 years successfully, I stated that we needed to evolve from No Kill Charleston and continue to break ground for animals. But we were not in the position to establish a timeline for No Kill South Carolina. There were simply too many unknowns, and we didn't have control over other parts of the state. Today, No Kill Charleston rolls into No Kill South Carolina because we are all one in our state. We're all one for the animals. And let's remember that no-kill shelters are a myth. Either communities are no-kill or they are not. Life-saving is not a shelter issue. It is a community issue, as is education, illiteracy, hunger, domestic abuse, and so on. Our future is bright. While others continue to tread water, we are swimming at a sprint, charging ahead, changing the plight of animals in our community and beyond. There is so much more work, difficult work, to do in realizing the dream of a no-kill state, the first no-kill state in the South, something that many people think impossible. And Petco Foundation has been there every step of the way, standing shoulder to shoulder with us in saving those 500,000 lives and preventing the euthanasia of over 30,000. I'm looking forward to hearing from Suzanne Kogut later in this annual meeting, the Foundation President for Petco, as she shares with us how they are changing and intend to continue to change the plight of animals nationwide. So to each and every one of you, thank you for your understanding, your patience, and your support through these uncertain times, knowing that you can be certain about one thing, and that is Charleston Animal Society will always be there for our community's animals and the families who love them. So all for one, one for all. No Kill, South Carolina. Joanna Lacey is a lifesaver. She was critical to our effort and the largest horse rescue operation in modern history here in Charleston County. It's folks like Joanna Lacey that is Charleston Animal Society that puts so much energy into it and puts her home and her pastures forward to be used to save so many horses. So to all of those lifesavers, we could not be Charleston Animal Society without you.
Charleston Animal Society is so easy to work with when it comes to fostering. Any expense that goes into the horse, veterinary care, feeding care, foot care, everything that goes into getting this horse well. So Charleston Animal Society covers all expenses. Charleston Animal Society and what they do as an organization is very near and dear to my heart. It's great to see the horses go from starved in really poor health to going on to being successful in a new home. I mean, that's greatly rewarding.
One day, my littlest Owen, he's 4 years old, he just casually mentioned that he wanted a black and white horse. And that very day on Facebook, Charleston Animal Society had posted 3 horses that they rescued. One was a black and white paint, and we went out there and we just immediately loved them. And so we brought him home. But we were so blessed because he loves children. We have 4 children. The neighborhood children come over and visit with him. Let me tell you, he's the most popular attraction in our neighborhood. There are kids that come from houses down the street with carrots and apples, and this horse gets more attention and more love, and he has just been amazing. He is the sweetest horse we could have ever asked for.
He's more of a pet to us, but we also ride him and just giving him a good life at our home.
And Joanna took fabulous care of him, and she continues to reach out to us and just touch base with us and check on him. I mean, she's just amazing. I could not have asked for a better resource when you are taking on such a large animal. She's been amazing. We would not have this horse if it weren't for the donors. I mean, there's maintenance, there's food. He had a wound that was sutured. I mean, none of that would have been possible without the donors.
Without the donors, it's a huge financial commitment. It would be impossible. I actually feel honored that I've been able to foster for Charleston Animal Society, knowing that when you get them healthy and all the work that goes in to getting them healthy, that somebody can love them and provide that for them as well. Because you learn to trust that other people will love them and take care of them as well as you do.
As Joe mentioned, Charleston Animal Society continued to help other animal organizations throughout the pandemic.
And during hurricane season, this transport trailer, made possible by Maddie's Fund, traveled thousands of miles across the Southeast, making 11 emergency transports.
Our efforts touched the lives of 154 animals in harm's way. Here's a look back at the record-breaking hurricane season of 2020.
In the busiest hurricane season in history, Charleston Animal Society has been involved in evacuating animals from several communities struck by disaster. The call from St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands came in mid-August. Our transport team of staff and volunteers picked up over a dozen dogs and cats from a transport plane that landed in the Miami area. 1 month later, we organized a second transport to help these vulnerable island communities, still recovering from 2 Category 5 hurricanes that pummeled them in 2017. When Hurricane Sally set her sights on the Gulf Coast in late September, our teams of staff and volunteers once again leapt into action. Charleston Animal Society sent a rescue team to Atlanta to pick up a van full of cats and kittens that were evacuated from an Alabama shelter that was heavily damaged. In October, when Hurricane Delta bore down on Louisiana, the Humane Society of the United States reached out to us, desperate to help evacuate flood-prone shelters along the coast. In less than 12 hours, Charleston Animal Society deployed a team of staff and volunteers on our farthest rescue mission in the shelter's history. Driving over 1,700 miles in 48 hours, Charleston Animal Society saved over 80 animals from the devastating hurricane. And the work would not stop once the team returned. Over the next few days, many of the animals were placed in partner organizations across the Southeast, from as far as North Carolina to Florida, to make sure every animal was safely adopted. All of this shows what can be accomplished when animal organizations work together to save lives. Just as the country responded to us when Hurricane Hugo hit, we will continue our commitment to help others when disaster strikes.
It's with great honor and appreciation that Charleston Animal Society has selected Hendrick Automotive Group for the recipient of its Community Ambassador Award.
In addition to being a key financial supporter over the decade, Hendrick Automotive Group has partnered with the Animal Society in campaigns throughout the year, including the very special Home for the Holidays.
Hey, this is for you from Santa. It is? Yep. Okay. Thank you.
During this campaign, Hendrick Elves partnered with us to deliver new furry members of the family on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
The Hendrick Automotive Group employees have not only volunteered for the adoption deliveries, but have also volunteered on committees and the board of Charleston Animal Society. This is true partnership.
Charleston Animal Society's Community Ambassador Award is given to a business, organization, agency, or group who demonstrate a devotion to community and service to others to improve the plight of animals.
On behalf of the Board of Directors of Charleston Animal Society, we are honored to present Hendrick Charleston with our 2020 Community Ambassador Award. Thank you so much for all you do.
Well, from all the employees here at Hendrick Automotive Group in the Low Country, we thank you very much and we look forward to continued success with you.
No-Kill South Carolina was created and established in 2015 with the idea that we would save every healthy and treatable pet in South Carolina. And it's been 5 years and we're doing really well.
Well, No-Kill South Carolina is an initiative of the Charleston Animal Society and funded by the Petco Foundation. We have been able to work really well with almost every single open admission shelter in South Carolina. It's hard to change sometimes, and when they implemented the changes, they saw how life-saving that was. How much more they could do with their time.
Between 2015 and 2020, we have saved over 500,000 lives in South Carolina, which is just amazing. And that includes more than 30,000 fewer animals euthanized between 2015 and 2020 in our South Carolina open admission shelters. Just incredible. We're so happy and proud to be able to share that information. The first year that we started collecting data just to see where are we at, we found out that our euthanasia rate for dogs at that time was about 19%. At that time, our euthanasia rate for cats was over 50%. Every year it's gone down, every single year. And in 2020, our euthanasia rate for dogs was 8% in South Carolina. So now if we look at the euthanasia rate for cats, we are down now at this point to only 18%. That's still higher than we'd like to see, but it's such a dramatic increase in the amount of lives saved. We've got 46 counties in South Carolina, and what we were looking for is to have those counties turn green on the map. And what that means is that no more than 10% of the animals that come in are euthanized. And In 2016, we only had 6 counties that were at that stage, and now we've got 27, so we are really doing a great job. I've said it before, but I say it again. I really believe that the teamwork and the sense of camaraderie and understanding that we're all in this together really, truly makes a difference.
For 2020, we awarded the Humane Society of Greenwood County as the Organization of the Year. This is an award we give to organizations yearly when they achieve or they excel.
So we are also giving an award this year that we've never given before. It's our life-saving award to the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. Between the beginning of last year and now, they've saved over 1,100 animals from hoarding and dog fighting and other inhumane conditions. It's really, really incredible.
The future is keep doing what we are doing. We really need to come to the point where we are saving every life that can be saved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Petco Foundation,
for believing in our animals,
in us,
and in South Carolina.
Thanks to you,
we're saving more lives than ever before.
You let us dream,
imagine,
care,
and collaborate.
From the mountains to the sea.
Your support of No Kill South Carolina is helping us create a state of kind. Joe, neither one of us can stop smiling.
I know, Laurel, it's an incredible day. And do we have a big announcement or what?
As you just saw, our No Kill South Carolina team is making amazing progress, and the Petco Foundation, who has sponsored this initiative, has noticed.
In fact, Laurel, throughout South Carolina, with no statewide network, no statewide data, no regulations for animal shelters, this was a monumental undertaking. But the shelters across the state came together with a spirit of one for all and all for one, and really believed in this initiative to make it happen. But unlike No Kill Charleston, where we could start with a timeline, we were not able to do that with No Kill South Carolina. So we had to dive into the project to really see what it was going to be like and when we could project, or whether we could project, this coming to realization.
I know that we can make this happen. That's why tonight we are unveiling our brand new initiative, No Kill South Carolina 2024.
That's right, Laurel. No Kill South Carolina 2024 to culminate with our 150th anniversary on March 14th, 2024. This will be amazing, but we need every South Carolinian, every animal lover to pitch in and be a part of it, because this is the boldest animal rescue initiative in the country.
Here to talk more about the Petco Foundation, this amazing challenge, and their incredible work is Petco Foundation President Suzanne Kogut.
Thank you, Joe and Laurel. And thank you to all the supporters of the Charleston Animal Society. Tiny Bubbles and I are just so happy to be with you today, because all of us at the Petco Foundation have great respect and admiration for the work you are doing to save lives, not only in Charleston, but throughout all of South Carolina. What do you think, Tiny? You know, we are living in exciting times. And I still remember the day when people thought saving lives, creating no-kill communities, that was all impossible. Or perhaps it was only possible in that one city that everyone saw as more pet-friendly, or which had the resources to accomplish this goal. The Petco Foundation has always held true to the steadfast belief that we can save pet lives and end unnecessary euthanasia in this country. So we share your passion for this necessary and achievable goal for all animals, like Tiny Bubbles. Tiny, you want to go lay down? And at the Petco Foundation, we are leading with commitment, empowering organizations with nearly $300 million invested to date to save pet lives. But I know what you all want to know. Yes, 3.5 million of that was invested right here in South Carolina since 2015. These are exciting times because of the work of organizations like the Charleston Animal Society and so many others in South Carolina who are saving lives. And when we talk about eliminating unnecessary euthanasia, we are no longer talking if, but when. When will my community become a life-saving community? And when will my state become a no-kill state? In Charleston, you have achieved a life-saving community. And now the answer to when the state will become a no-kill state, well, you know the answer. That is No Kill South Carolina 2024. And we are so proud to have been and continue to be your partner on No Kill South Carolina. Because together, as you have already heard, but it does merit saying again, over 500,000 dogs and cats have been saved and 30,000 fewer lives lost because of your efforts. Exciting times indeed. You know, I've always felt at home in your company, even in these virtual times. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret about exciting times right now at the Petco Foundation. You know it, pets change our lives. And when you love a pet, there's nothing you won't do to change theirs. You'll nurture them, protect them. You'll take every action to make sure every pet lives its best life possible. The love we share with pets changes everything. And it even inspires a name change. So going forward, the nonprofit Petco Foundation will now be called Petco Love. And at Petco Love, we will lead every day to harness the power of love to make communities and pet families closer, stronger, and healthier, and create a future in which no pet is unnecessarily euthanized. But it's more than a name change. It's a fundamental change in our approach. While we will continue to lead by empowering other organizations, we will also lead by example. We believe that in some circumstances, we can bring about greater life-saving for pets by leading action directly, innovating and creating national solutions. So I want to give you an example about how we plan to transform the national lost and found system for pets to reunite lost pets directly with their families. Now, I am not sure if any of your pets have ever gone missing, and no one ever thinks it'll happen to them. Yet 1 in 3 pets go missing during their lifetime, and 10 million annually. This April, we will be launching a national central database for lost and found pets called Petco Love Lost. One central location that individuals can search lost and found pets, whether those pets are at a shelter or in the home of a good Samaritan who found them. We are working to bring the entire animal welfare industry and pet industry together to support this national solution. We will unite to reunite. Imagine if this tool was utilized universally, we could prevent any lost pet from going to a shelter and get them back home directly where they became lost. And it will be as simple as uploading a photo from your phone. And of course, like the leading organization that the Charleston Animal Society is, you were a first adopter of this new life-saving tool when it was called Finding Rover. And you are participating even before our name change and our national launch, bringing other South Carolina organizations on board as well. Our partnership has been strong through the years because we share that goal of No Kill South Carolina. And Petco Love plans to continue investing in the Charleston Animal Society's No Kill South Carolina initiative to get you to that 2024. But since I started by saying that we are living in exciting times, Petco Love wants to raise that excitement level up throughout all of South Carolina with a challenge grant. If the organizations in South Carolina work together and achieve No Kill South Carolina by 2024, Petco Love will invest $1 million collectively to organizations throughout South Carolina for their life-saving work. And these funds can be used to sustain No Kill South Carolina forever. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to you has not. Because Petco Love is with all of you. It's time to end unnecessary euthanasia in this country now and forever. So together, let's do this. So Joe and Laurel, back to you, but with a $1 million challenge grant ahead of you.
Joe, this is incredible. $1 million for animal shelters across South Carolina. I am truly speechless.
It's amazing, incredible, phenomenal, everything, Laurel. And Petco Foundation, thank you so much for believing in us and enabling us to believe in our brothers and sisters operating shelters across our entire state. This is nothing short of a miracle for us, but we've got to make it. We've got to make it by 2024 because this is a challenge.
And now we're going to turn it over to David Maybank, who's going to present a special award.
Thank you, Laurel and Joe. What an exciting announcement. Cheers to 2024. I'm board member David Maybank, and this is Bunny. We're proud to announce this year's recipient of our Elizabeth Brodham Humanitarian Award, the Charleston Animal Society's highest honor. This year's recipient has dedicated her life to the protection of animals. In fact, just up the road in Hollywood is Holly Hill, a sanctuary for wayward dogs that Helen founded. Her passion and dedication to save dogs that others have given up on is truly inspiring, making her a worthy recipient of this year's Humanitarian Award. Just take a look at the amazing work being accomplished at Holly Hill.
The sanctuary is vital in making this community a no-kill community. There's really a need for more sanctuaries. We have animals that have come in that have been so badly broken that we found on the side of the road. To see them get the medical care, the orthopedic surgery that they need, and to see them to be able to run on the grass, it warms my heart to see a dog get to be a dog. The day starts bright and early at Holly Hill, usually about 7 o'clock. All the dogs are awake and ready to roll. And so we get everybody fed. There's morning medications that have to be handed out. We count on volunteers to spend one-on-one quality time with the animals, because a lot of the animals here are under-socialized. So the volunteers will grab a bucket and they'll put like treats or toys or leashes or brushes, and they'll start spending time with the animals. Well, it might be in with a dog that likes to have a frisbee or a ball thrown. The next pen might be a dog that won't come up to them at all, but them sitting in there and offering it treats and allowing the dog to smell and see and hear their voice is great socialization for that animal and great enrichment. And with the cats. We have 50 cats, and a lot of the volunteers go in and spend quality time with the cats, playing with chase toys and brushing and petting. We have a staff member who spends the night and gives the medications that have to be more in the evening. So it's pretty much a 24-hour job. Being that it's a sanctuary instead of a shelter, that's what makes it unique. Our enclosures are not small little concrete enclosures. You know, we have large enclosures that they can live in for years if they need to. Our ultimate goal is to place as many animals as we can with families and homes, but we always have that option where if they can't find a home, then they become part of the Holly Hill family and they can stay here for the rest of their life. There are so many ways people can help Holly Hill. They could go online to hollyhill.com and they can donate to our general fund. There's also a chance to sponsor a pet. You could go online and choose a specific pet that really touches your heart. People can include us in their planned giving. They can put us in their will. They could have us listed as a beneficiary to a life insurance policy. People can also help us by going to Amazon. You could go to smile.amazon and list Holly Hill as the sanctuary that you'd like to receive a portion of your purchase. But we just need people to get the word out about Holly Hill. So few people know about it, and it's such a beautiful place, and it's a worthwhile cause. I mean, there needs to be more sanctuaries out there, but they're expensive to run. So we really count on donations to keep this place running, and we want to guarantee a safe spot for the animals. Once they come in, we want to guarantee them a place for life.
Here to present the award is our former board president and the woman the Humanitarian Award is named for, Elizabeth Brodham.
Thank you, David. So we're here out at Holly Hill Animal Sanctuary. I'm with my mom. And Mom, I want to present you the Humanitarian Award on behalf of everything you've created out here and all you've done for animals in Charleston County.
Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's perfectly beautiful. And I want to thank you, Elizabeth, and Charleston Animal Society for honoring me. I'm most appreciative. I'm quite humbled. And I do thank you. And I want to mention the fact that Charleston Animal Society has been so very helpful to Holly Hill. They've included us in so many things, and helped us a great deal in all our ventures. And they've just been a big part of Halley Hill. So I thank you, Charleston Animal Society, and I accept this with a grateful heart and a humbled spirit. Thank you so much. Elizabeth, thank you.
Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Mi nombre es Luigi Bravo. Soy miembro de la Junta Directiva de Charleston Animal Society. Quiero invitarte a que nos visites al 2455 de Fremont Road en North Charleston. Cuando vengas, quiero que sepas que tenemos personal que te pueda atender en español. También tenemos servicio de esterilización. Por más de 20 años hemos cambiado la vida de muchos animales, más de 20,000. Quiero que sepas que eres bienvenido en Charleston Animal Society. Esperamos contar con tu apoyo y verte pronto.
Hey Luigi, thanks very much. I'm Hank Greer, and before we leave, Laurel and I have an incredible announcement to make. Isn't that right, Laurel?
Absolutely. We were so thrilled that our gift of the BMW last year raised $150,000 for the animals.
And you know what? We're going to do it a third time. We've done it 2 years. This year, we've got another really hot car. It's the new 2021 Tesla Model Y. And you know what? We're starting right now with a raffle. So if you're lucky, and you might well be because you're out there, you could be driving this car this summer.
That's right. We're going to sell a limited number of chances now through June 15th. And the money raised will help with our life-saving work at Charleston Animal Society.
Okay, let's not talk. Let's show you what these awesome features are of the Tesla Model Y.
The future is here, and this is your chance to drive into 2021 in a brand new Tesla Model Y. The Tesla Model Y is a long-range electric vehicle valued at $50,000. It has a dog mode safety feature, premium vegan leather interior, pearl white exterior, all-wheel drive, 19-inch Gemini wheels. It has autopilot and 5 seats. And if you don't win the Tesla, don't worry. You still have 3 other chances to win a prize: a $1,000 luxury Charleston experience with a dinner at Husk, a stay at the Francis Marion Hotel, and a tour with the Charleston Raconteurs. Or win a $500 shopping spree for your dog at Charleston Animal Society, or a $500 shopping spree for your cat at Charleston Animal Society. Buy your tickets now. This is your chance to save animal lives and win America's hottest car in the process.
So everyone, buy your ticket right now at charlestonanimalsociety.org/car raffle.
And you know why? Because one of you out there is going to look great in this Tesla Model Y. Hey, even I could look great in this Tesla Model Y. So beyond having a chance to win a super car, let me tell you what you're doing. You are providing extra funds for people who save animals, namely the Charleston Animal Society. You're saving lives, purely and simple. So get out there and buy tickets. By the way, in all honesty, what I have to tell you is that the first year, a person bought 1 ticket and won the car. Last year, a person bought 1 ticket and won the car. We would encourage you to buy as many tickets as you want to, but get out there and help the Animal Society.
So everyone, good luck, buy tickets, and we're going to send it back over to Dillard.
How exciting is that? A brand new Tesla could be yours, thanks to the generosity of Hank and Laurel Greer. Please remember that every ticket you buy helps save lives. We hope you enjoyed looking back with us on 2020. What a challenging year it's been for all. Thanks to you, we made it through this difficult time. I see many of you have questions, and we'd like to have them all answered. So I'm going to hand it over to my fellow board member, Carolyn Murray, and President and CEO, Joe Elmore. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, and we hope that we'll all be together next year in person for this event. But until then, we look forward to seeing you in October for our gala. Carolyn, Joe, over to you.